So the eye opener for me was saying, you know what? There's a point where I just have to be myself. I'm never going to be as smart as my brother. I'm never going to have the skills of languages of like my sister or other people I know. And I'm not going to get 1600 on the SAT. So how do I take the skills that I've been given and grow and develop it with that? And that takes time. That's a confidence level, as you well know, and you've felt those same feelings as I have of how do we, distinguish ourselves with the skills we were given when we were born with.
And it's an interesting thing to hear you say that, because you are someone, if you say that hard work has gotten you to the place where you are, which I believe, and I've met many people who have had that same kind of thing, right? But you work hard, but you make it look effortless. And I believe the effortlessness has come because of the repetition and the hard work that you've put in. Do you feel that that's true in your life?
Well, you spotted something that the time we met in New York City, where I'm a big believer in planning and preparation, where I take that extra time to do the research. And I remember I had printed out your LinkedIn profile and just,
Yes.
where you went to school, the books that you had written, right?
Yes.
You remember that?
Absolutely.
And that's, again, how do I learn a little bit more about Dave Crenshaw and his family before we met so that we could have some talking points? And that is what has helped me in my career. It's just that extra effort of doing research, planning, and preparation.
Right. And I loved that moment in particular. And it was so great, too, to see it printed out. Because, Dean, let's be honest, it's 2022. Who's printing out web pages? So maybe a little bit of update on that. No, I'm giving you a hard time.
It's true, though. You're right.
Yeah, it was. But so I looked at it, I pointed out, but what I loved so much is because my son Stratton came with us to that, and I turned to Stratton, I said, you see what Dean did? This is what you do when you're meeting someone new. Maybe you don't print it out, but you take the time to get to know them, to research them. At what point in your career did you learn that that was important? Was that early on? Was that something you learned from your parents? Where along the line did you pick that up? Was there a mentor?
I was very, very fortunate. My very first sales manager, I'm 22 years old. I have a sales territory in upstate New York, Rochester, New York, and I have a sales manager who's based in Saratoga Springs, New York. His name was Gary Gutschel. And he taught me the basic skills of, we're all pretty much the same. There's always that 5% who gets an A on every test, who knows all of the answers without studying. But where do the rest of us fit in? And he said, it's the simple things of show up on time, follow up, smile, say hello. These are all, again, the basics, but so many people take for granted. So it's always nice when people, Dean, you always smile, you always say hello. Well, how hard is that? So my very first manager would say, these are skills you learn from your parents, and these are skills you learn in business of how you distinguish yourself or separate yourself from everybody else who may be out in the marketplace.
And you have a wonderful book about that called Mastering the Basics, which I actually got for my kids to read and learn some of that stuff. But I am going to throw something in here about it because, yes, you possess all those skills and you've learned them and you've developed them. But we both know that there are people who can also have those skills of researching people and saying hello and smiling and everything. And yet behind it, you know that the intent is purely to make money, right? When you meet someone in sales who is going through all those motions as they should, but you don't feel the care. And one of the things that I know about you, Dean, and I've come to love about you, is all of those skills underneath have a current of, I love people and I care about people. Where did that come from? Or is that just who you've always been?
Well, I'm fortunate. I think that's who I am. Again, but I did learn that from family and friends. And again, for me, it's, yes, we all want to have an income and a bank account that's flush with money. But at the end of the day, it's friendship and it's family and it's friends. That's what it's all about. I take pride in the fact that when my kids were growing up, that yes, I traveled all over the place. I have 1 million miles on United and 500,000 on American Airlines. But I got home in time for my daughter's basketball games as best as I could, for events that my son was doing. And I would take the red eye from California and do the 24-hour trips back and forth from Chicago so I could be there for family events. And, that's, when people say I work, I work 18 hours a day, and I'm a Silicon Valley executive, and I pride myself of working all these hours. Again, life's too short, so it's you want to experience what family means, what friendship means, and it's just in my inner core of what I believe.
If you liked this video and want to listen to the full episode, go to your favorite podcast app and subscribe to the Dave Crenshaw Success Project. You can also find all the full episodes at SuccessProject.Show.